describe that first quarter?
Oh, it was awesome. Yeah, it was terrific intent and attacking the ball, and then we were able to go forward really effectively and score. I think it was something like 24 inside 50s in the first quarter. And when you have that high number of inside 50s, it's usually because it's going in and coming back out. But we were able to be pretty efficient going forward as well too, which is terrific. And I think it's the fourth highest first quarter score in North Melbourne's history. So it's really pleasing that our fans can see with the players that are out in the field representing the club that they're capable of doing something like that, which is history making for us. So talked all year about how bright the future looks, and hopefully our supporters got a good look at it today.
Was that the intention to go out hard first up?
It is every week. Yep. It wasn't a tactic to kick 10 goals in the first quarter, and it sounds boring, but it's just about how you go about it. And then we felt that how we've gone about our footy this year has been pretty strong, but we haven't necessarily got the reward for effort, and part of that, a lot of that's been about doing. But today, a lot of things came together for us. Oh, I think that was a unique game in that it was a 6 or 7 goal wind. It was the ball was going backwards, kicking into the wind. So that was a little bit unique. There was a bit of a breeze today, but it certainly wasn't as strong as that. So, but I think what I had to be clear about with the players is that Adelaide have shown they're the best side in the competition to this point of the season, and they're capable of kicking 140 points plus fairly easily and fairly consistently. And we didn't feel by any stretch that the game was over at quarter time. Yeah, well, I think that even if the score's not going the way you want it to go, I think coaches always look at the way it's unfolding, and the way that we wanted the game to go is other than the score, obviously, but the way it was being played, I think, was the way we set out to try and achieve it. So even if you're not getting the reward on the scoreboard, we were certainly pleased with the way that we were approaching the game. But it's a sign of how good Adelaide are that the coach's box wasn't comfortable until the last few minutes of the game. Because they're capable of so much going forward, and they've shown this year they've got a great balance in their side, and sometimes really good sides have little blips on the radar, and the quality of Adelaide's set up, not just their playing stocks but their whole club, they'll bounce back pretty strongly, and everyone in the competition knows that. Yeah, the defenders were fantastic. They stuck to their task really well. But I think that any defender will tell you that the supply of ball coming down is going to be probably the #1 factor in whether you're able to defend effectively. And I thought our midfield got right on top in the contest and gave our defenders the best sort of help they could give them, which is pressure on the ball.
Sum up Jared Waite's performance today.
Yeah, super. Look, I've said ever since he's come to our club, he's an elite runner, unbelievable athlete. He's got vice-like hands. He's been one of our best pressure players defensively, and he's a terrific guy to have around your footy club. He's just been a fantastic inclusion for us, and there aren't too many players who can miss 6 weeks of footy. Even though he's been able to train really strongly and we've poured a lot of work into him on the track, most players come back rusty. He just came in like he hadn't missed a beat. And people probably forget that he kicked 1-7 in round 1. He had 8 shots at goal then too. So his last 2 games have been pretty good in terms of getting opportunity in front of goal.
Concern about him maybe with a tackle in Tom Lynch that you might look at from
it's just completely out of my hands. I've got my own thoughts on it, but I'm going to be muzzled.
Mason Wood as well, so is he another one who's probably shown glimpses of the potential for maybe a breakout type game for him today?
Yeah, I think he's had a few of them. He's a really important part of our side. You sort of have to go back and check if it's right, the number of games that he's played. He's still only very early on in his career, and he's had a couple of injuries that have been sort of more freak things. The the knee injury last year when someone fell across his leg. So he's a really important part of our setup going forward, and it's the first time we've had Brown, Waite and Wood in the same forward line this year. We obviously like the look of that, but we only had it once so far, so hopefully we can maintain that. There's no point sort of trying to avoid the question. I mean, yeah, he's the best, in my view, probably alongside Dustin Martin as the best midfielder in the competition at the moment. His first 6 weeks have been exceptional. He's not only been able to dominate in possession, he's been a terrific defensive player for Adelaide too. So yeah, we felt he was massively important to the contest, and Sam Gibson was fantastic.
Is that something you go to him, to Sam, and say, well, we want to play this week, and obviously it's such a good league, you've noted that outside runner, but we can down and do it. Yeah,
and he can do it. We've had Jacobs in the past, and Sam can play those particular roles, but he's been so important to our outside run as well. So we've got to be careful we're not robbing Peter to pay Paul. But I think that speaks to how highly we rate Sloan. He personally, after the game, he said he should be fine, but he wasn't fine, when he came off. So it's really frustrating for him because he's fought really hard to get his opportunity, and his opportunity came up this week because Taylor Garner was just a little bit tight in the hamstring. We think he's going to be fine, but with Taylor Garner we've taken no risk approach, more so than any other player probably. And Wag's got his opportunity and started like a house on fire. So let's hope for his sake it's okay, and he'll be right for next week, but we'll just get it scanned and we'll wait and see later in the week.
Just to clarify.
Ankle, yeah. I think he copped a good elbow on the head for good measure too.
And Ben Brown came off at one stage as well. Did he actually pop his shoulder?
No. Just another one of Jack Siebel's victims.
Where to from here then for the group? Obviously, 0-5 is very different to 5-2. It's not quite what we'd like to be, but not really.
Look at the competition. It's so tight, and it's great. It's a great time to be a footy fan because you look across and you see teams get up when they don't expect them to. I don't think there are too many football experts and who tipped us this week, and there are a lot of myths out there. And footy will, if you try and draw a form line through a month of footy, then you're probably going to be proven wrong in a month's time. That's just the nature of the game at the moment. It's so even. So I said last week, we just got to hang in there. We just got to hang in and persist with what we think is the right way to go about it. And to our players' credit, they've persisted when the results have been going against them. So I think that's a really good sign of character that the players have stuck with it in the face of some pretty significant adversity at 0-5.
So you've had good respect in the football world, with a performance like that, maybe, as you say, people take notice?
Well, I think they do, but I mean, it's consistency of performance that most people look at. There's always going to be, in every season, there's going to be upset results, and there's going to be a flash in the pan here and there. So, but it's not my concern. I mean, I'm concerned about the brand of footy that we want to play and that we want to try and produce each week. So, again, Adelaide have been the best team in the comp up until now, and I would think they would be saying we were just a bit off, and the competition's so even that if you are a bit off, you get exposed, and that's the lesson we've got to take going forward. Thanks.